And it's like, yeah, but I live now. There is only the now. I don't know what the future is. I know what the past is, but that's gone. So this is it.
If you've been thinking about just quitting your 9 to 5 job and selling everything to finally become free to travel the world or Europe in an auto camper, this episode is for you. But that was not the only thing we talked about in this episode. We also talked about her story with menopause, how it has affected her, and last but not least, how farting and sex is not really going well together. Welcome to the Uncomfortably Honest podcast. And my guest today is Debbie.
Wow,
And and we met, I know, I think this is the weirdest friendship I made because we met in Portugal and we spoke for, I don't know, 15 minutes.
Yeah, that was it.
That was it. And then we met back up in Denmark again, and then we developed the relationship from there. And you helped us also when we were like in trouble to buy the land here at Skogo, and you just been supporting us all the way. And you became really dear friends really quickly. You came to the land, and we just had a lot of fun. I remember actually one of our greatest talk was in the kitchen about farting, having sex. But I will definitely go deeper into that subject a little bit later, because I think we should talk about that in the podcast as well, because I don't think a lot of people talking about farting and sex. So welcome, Debbie.
No, I don't think so. Great way to start.
And just
well, thank you for the introduction.
Yeah, you're welcome. And also a little further along, I want to also say that you're from Holland. Oh no, they say the Netherlands in England, don't they? We say Holland, they say
Yeah, the
Netherlands.
Netherlands, Holland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
and you're
That's
just
correct.
a beautiful, fantastic woman. You cook, your food is delicious. And I have a lot of questions for you today. So let's get to it. Are you ready, Debbie?
Looking forward to all the questions. I'm ready.
Okay. So, what's going on in your life right now? And how do you feel? Like honestly, like what's the theme right now? What's going on?
Yeah, well, we just had Christmas. We Tony, my husband, and I suddenly flew back to the Netherlands because we wanted to visit our family. There were some issues, and we wanted to be there for them and just say hi and help where we could. So we did that for 10 days, and then we came back to Portugal. Um, we really needed the rest. That is weird because we were only 10 days there, but what we noticed is that 10 days completely devoted to other people, no time for yourself is, well, we found out, like, if you live in a camper van and you have a lot of time, free time, you can do whenever you want to do your things. Going into a state like that is, well, it was hard. Especially also because it's family, so you feel the emotions and those kind of stuff. But we were glad that we've been there, and now we're back. And how are things going? Well, good. Well, at the moment I'm doing the detox. So Tony says it's not going good because I'm a little bit grumpy sometimes, because I really try to do a cleanse. I do that once or twice a year, but I'm not very the nicest person during that period because I get headaches, I got all kind of uncomfortable issues, um, and well, I have to go through it. So today is day 5. So hopefully tomorrow I will be happy and shining again. But it's totally 9 days. But I love to do that. I do that for my skin. I do that for my body. I just want to take care of my body, especially at my age, because it's gonna be a little bit. It's tougher when you get older than when you get younger. And it's not about losing weight. It is more like I want to feel healthy. My skin always shows me if I eat the wrong things or if I have too much toxins in my life, and then I know that it's time to do a good cleanse. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I I remembered I also did a juice cleanse with Jens in Bali, and I was cranky for 7 days, and Jens took it so nicely, and I was just a bitch. I just want to add
Yes,
to
that's
that. But
right.
it's so good for the body. I agree on that. But oh my God, I become a
Yeah,
pussycat, I
yeah.
tell you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Tony, I love him. He's so nice for me. He's like, "Oh no, I'm doing it. No worries." And he's walking on his toes and he's around me, and he let me go. But yeah, he knows it will help me. So I said, "Okay, just one day, and then I will be that nice person." But now you said 7 days. All right, I won't tell Tony. He's not there.
No, I think that is
So
yeah. Oh, we really have to figure out the delay. But yeah, I think it's so nice that you're taking care of yourself and doing the detox and all that stuff, and even doing van life or camper van life. That's completely
yeah, well,
something different.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's a challenge because I'm doing the cleanse of Anthony William, and then you eat only vegetables and fruit. But I have a small fridge because in a van you don't have a huge fridge like I had when I had a home. So it's like there is nothing in there that only vegetables, vegetables, vegetables. And for Tony, his cheese, and there's a small part, but the rest is the fridge is for me. And it doesn't fit in all, so I put some somewhere that I think okay, but it's it's a challenge, and then you have to clean everything, and actually you need a big kitchen, but I have a small kitchen. You know how big my kitchen is, so it's not that big. So I use everything to yeah, to create things, to make things, to yeah. But I know it's just for 10 days, and then hopefully I can eat. I'm going a little bit back to normal. So but yeah, it's a challenge even in a van.
Yeah.
um
Oh,
yeah,
I know that. I know that feeling. It's like you want to be healthy on the road and you want to, eat well because yeah, well, just because you want to have like the energy to not only because of the weight, of course, but also just having the energy to do the things you want to do. But yeah, keeping vegetables also in a little bit more hotter climate. Woo! It's such a challenge before the bananas
yeah,
look like
yeah, doing yeah, it's not so hot right now here, so I manage it. And I like it that it's a little bit warmer than with you, because at your place I think it's much colder.
you don't talk about
Because you
that.
have to eat a lot of raw food, and in winter eating raw food is not so good because you need the warmth of the food, and if you only eat raw food, it's not warm, it's cold.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that I'm doing it here right now because I did a cleanse last year when I was in the Netherlands a year ago, a little bit longer. And then it was not so good timing because then you eat a lot of raw food and it's cold. So you really, yeah, I really have trouble to keep my body warm because you need that warmth from that food. But
Yeah.
it's okay. Very good to do. I recommend to everybody just do a cleanse once or twice a year because it really helps your body to, yeah, to recover from all the things you don't see. And I'm happy that I do see them on my skin. And it also help you, well, not now, not yet, but afterwards, get your head clear. Because if you do intermittent fasting or something like that, if you do that for 24 hours, you notice that you get a really, your mind will be very clear. The way is that your mind will focus on one thing because there's not so much to focus on because they don't have the energy. So that is the reason if you do fasting that you focus. So if you need to focus on something very, then you need to fast because your attention is going only that way because your brain thinks, oh, I've not so much food. I focus on that part that she wants and not the rest. And that is for a lady very helpful because a lady, our heads are wired like this. And
Mm-hmm.
men, they have boxes. They pull out the box and what they want to think of, they think of, and the rest is not there. But we are constantly connecting, thinking, and that is the way we are actually wired.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's helpful to do fasting because then you start focusing as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
very
I'm
true.
very happy doing that.
Yeah. But now I'm just jumping off of my questions a little bit here, but do you then see a difference in the skin? Because you said said to me that you can see it's time to cleanse now because you have some skin issues, then you can see it after you are doing your cleanse for the 10 days that it gets less and less then, or what is how do you see that it works?
About for a month ago, yeah, I got all kind of spots on my skin, like psoriasis. I have psoriasis. Well, they said I have. And then I had a sort of explosion. So everywhere on my body, my head, my whole body, it's full of those spots. Um, so I thought, okay. So I went to a homeopathic, and she gave me some stuff, which I use, but it it didn't go away yet. And then I think, how can I help myself? You know, helping that homeopathic stuff help doing the thing for my body and helping myself. And then I know that if I do a cleanse like that, it's struggling for 4 or 5 days really, or I have headaches and those kind of stuff. But afterwards, I know that my skin is going to be better. And then I know internal my liver will be better too, because what I do right now is give him a rest, because vegetables, I don't use oil, I don't eat fish or meat, I don't eat dairy, I don't eat gluten, nothing like that. It's only fruit and vegetables. So your liver is so easy to digest that. So you give him a rest. And what I see right now is that the spots are going down. My skin is going to be a little bit better. So I see it right away. Years ago, I was so mad on my body if I had those kind of things. I thought, oh no, why do I have that? Nowadays everybody can see it, whatever. But actually, it's a gift for my body telling me, hey, there's something wrong inside. You need to do something. So, and this is helpful. And I see it on my skin. And I feel better afterwards. Not now, but afterwards.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I actually, but you know this, but I'm the last year I took an education in herbalism, and we were also learning about the different, the organs and everything, how it's all connected. And one of the things that stuck to me was like the liver takes care of 500 tasks in the body. So it's like, the liver is almost connected to everything. So if that thing is not clean and up to date, and working properly, we can have all sorts of things having problems with that. And that is also something I talk a lot about with the menstrual cycle awareness, is we need to eat clean, because otherwise we get like pain, menstrual pain, all these different symptoms with our menstrual cycle as well. And I think it's such a beautiful way that you now learned how to, as you said, now you learn how to listen to your body, the symptoms, instead of getting angry at it. Do you find a solution now and thinking, okay, so getting my skin is getting worse again, I need to do something, instead of getting angry? I think that's quite beautiful that you are seeing yourself that way now, because that gives you less judgment on yourself. And then it comes the question to mind: how does it affect the symptoms of the menopause as well? If you because did I say that, or did we say that in the intro? But anyways, I know that you are in menopause right now, and does it have an effect on that too?
Well, it does. If you don't eat certain foods, you have less hot flashes. I still have them every now and then, and now it's a mess because my body is reacting on all the detox things, and everything is coming out of it, which is fine. But if I do this detox and I eat health, and of course you start eating a little bit healthier before, then you do the detox, and you keep on eating healthy afterwards, then I feel much better. I have more energy. My skin is better, of course, but also the hot flashes, which is one of the things. But also the moments, I have moments that I still have like premenstrual effects, that you get a little bit, not so nice, a little bit a bitch or something like that.
What do you mean?
That is still that is yeah, more a witch, whatever. I don't know. Sometimes I'm worse, but it's still going on. Even if you don't have the periods anymore, you still have periods, and especially with full moon. And it was full moon 2 days ago, or yesterday, day before. Then it makes it worse. But if you do the cleansing, you eat healthy, but it's not only eating healthy; it's also exercising in the right way for um if you what I'm doing right now is yoga and some HIIT training. Sometimes I cycle a lot, I walk a lot, and that is the way I move. And swim in the sea if it's not raining.
Yeah.
Oh, don't want to make you jealous, sorry, but you have to see there.
I do. It's just slightly on the cold end of the spectrum right now.
I know. I know. No, but it's eating healthy, doing cleanse, doing exercise in the right way, some power training, yoga, some hits, but not too much cardio. Just build your muscles, because if you have more muscles, it will help you to get your hormones in a correct way, and also doing some meditation and take some time for yourself. Because years ago there was a guy, a homeopathic. He was a man, an older man, and he said, "Oh my lord, menopause. This is the most transitional period of your life." And I was looking at him and I thought, "Yeah, you are a guy. What are you telling me? I have all those symptoms. You will never have them."
Exactly.
So I was little like, what are you doing? But this the most transitional period of my life, it kept resonating in my head. And actually, after now I am in there for 5-6 years now, I must say he's true. He was true. He told it's true, because you going more inside, you change. I really changed. I was really, I was a HR director in a big company, in an international company, and I wanted to score, and I want to be the best, and I want to grow, and that is what I was. And now I was like, no, that's no way. I like coaching people. I like training people, making online trainings, but I don't need a job like that on that level, and to score and to be that, high level, because that was it. But no, it's not. So the transition is that you're really going to find yourself. Who am I? And I know, I see people who are younger, like you, or you are already doing that, but I wasn't there. I came from a position that, you needed to get your degrees, and then you had to work, and I didn't saw that there was so much, there were so many other things. And now I'm really finding my way there, and that is what I related to that guy who told me it's the most transitional period of your life. And it is for me.
I think it's for a lot of women. I think we talk too little about it. I actually wrote something down about it because I wanted to ask you first about menopause and the end of the podcast. But anyways, we're going with the flow here. But there's like 4 phases of a woman's life, and so this means like for now you are going from what they call the mother, where you accept you have to, like, that's the phase where you accept responsibilities, where you had like children, you had a job and everything, and now going into the crone, what it is, where it's all about sharing wisdom. And I think it's so beautiful, because I think a lot of women are afraid of getting older, because then we are seen as useless in such a sense, which is not true at all, because you've been through it all and you have so much wisdom in yourself now. And even the way you have changed this stuff you and Tony are going through, and then life and everything, like there's so much knowledge in you that you can teach the younger generation, which I think is so beautiful and missing in this conversation, because the link is always breaking. But like we never in the old days we would get advice from older women or younger women. We would be a tribe together, and now we're so alone in our own age group. So there's so many things where I think, why did nobody tell me about this? This cannot have, there's been so many women walking on this earth, and somehow I don't know this. Like that was what I was thinking with the menstrual cycle awareness. It's like, what the F? What is this? Why nobody telling me about this? And then also with menopause, it seems like it's like a secret war. Don't talk about it. She's irritated, or she has hot flashes, and then people make fun of it, instead of actually saying, no, this woman is actually becoming, now she's becoming the wise woman in the tribe. I don't know. I just went on a tantrum there because I really want to make a point that we should talk more about it, and also that it's the best time in your life.
Yeah, well, it is if you are open and if you want to look inside yourself. So if you step out of, I'm not that younger woman. Okay, as there are some things I can't do that quickly, or I don't want to do that quickly anymore, or you getting more like more mindfulness, more and look at me who is saying it, because I was absolutely not mindfulness. I was just focused on work, and I needed to do all those workouts, and I climbed the um the mountain, yeah, sorry, the mountain in France with my bike because I needed to go there, and then I did it the second time, and then the third time I was like that. I needed to do that, and now it's like, why did I wanted to promise something to myself? Well, in that time, I did. I wanted to see how far I could go, and what I could take out of life besides having three children, and so that was that. And now it's like, okay, I really make a choice. 2 years ago we decided, hey, we don't want to work and then retire, and then I'm not ready for retire for a long time, but we was like, yeah, the children are having their own life now, and so yeah, is this it, or is it now time to step out? Because I see, like you said in the beginning, a lot of youngers, like 30 years, they buy a camper van and they're out, they just go. And well, we people of our age, we are grown up, like, you need to work, you have to pay for your pension, and then you have a life after you stop working. And it's like, yeah, but I live now. There is only the now. I don't know what the future is. I know what the past is, but that's gone. So this is it. What do I want to do right now in my life? And I thought, I don't want to have a job where I really, yeah, I liked doing the HR work, but I it was not fulfilling anymore.
Mm.
And we had a nice house. We were quite happy with that house. We could pay it easily. So we throw away sort of a lot of things to hold on, a lot of I can't find the English word, but it was confidence to live that way. And we thought, nah, we just want to live. And what is life for me? So we decided to go to Vietnam. So we want a backpack because we thought we can still do that. And that was the reason we thought, okay, we go to Vietnam. And then the corona started and we couldn't go away because we planned in March, April, and then
Oh.
2020, and then everything was locked down. It's like, And then I thought, okay, we need to change. We need to do something different. So we said, you know what? Why don't we go out for a year traveling in a camper van? Well, Tony was so happy right away. And I thought, let's do it. Let's, pack our stuff and go away. And then was like, what are we going to do with the house? And well, it ended up, we sold our house, we quit our jobs, and we bought a camper van, which I'm in right now. And, we start traveling. And we don't know how we can, we need to earn some money. We can live we live from the house a year now, but we want to earn some money. But we thought, just go and we see, and something will come on our path. We just trust in the unknown. There is always a possibility. So that is how we started. And well, if you're 30, you have still a lot of years to, if you don't have the money anymore, you still can go working. But if I'm 56, if you're older, it's a little bit difficult. You still can work, but it's like, So, but we love it, and we still believe in things. And what I'm creating right now is how to live healthy in a camper van. That's an online training will be launched in February, that people can just look at how is she doing that. And so I will tell people a little bit about that, how you can live healthy, because
Yeah.
I found out in a house, you walk to the bathroom, you walk to the kitchen, you walk to the couch, you walk outside. In the camper van, it's 2 steps to my kitchen, it's 3 steps to my bed, and 3 steps to the bathroom. So what I did, I bought a step. How do you call it? A step? How many steps you take on a day?
Yeah, I watched that.
So and
Yeah.
every night I need to go out for a walk because I need to move. No, it's simple. Those kind of things. So I want to put those kind of things in, and also we have one day of how you keep your relationship good, because like me, living in a camper van is very close. You have not so much space for yourself, and we as a women, we need some space sometimes.
We need space.
Get out of here.
Exactly.
It's my camper van today. Get out. I don't know. And well, so we have one session that we do together that he tells the husbands of the people who want to watch, if they have a husband, how to survive with a wife in a menopause in a camper van. So we make fun of it. But yeah, you have to work. But it's really fun. We enjoyed it so much. And there is only one thing that I find difficult, and that is seeing my children. I have 3 grandchildren. So every now and then I fly back to the Netherlands because I need to see them.
Yeah.
And then I'm with them. Yeah. But the difference is, if we are there, I'm fully there for them. The whole day, or week or whatever, or 2 weeks sometimes. I'm fully there. And they came over to Portugal. We rented a house here, and they were here for 2 weeks. So we see them 4 or 5 times a year, and then we see them for a whole week or 2 weeks at least. And actually, it's more time that we spend than we did before when I had a job, because I had to work for 4 days. And then weekend, I have my friends, I have my sport or whatever, and then I wanted to see my grandchildren, but it's more sometimes a midday or a day or something. And now I see them actually more quality time we have than we had before. So, but it's still sometimes I can't just go there just like this. No. That is the only thing I miss.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm just I had written down all these questions for you. It seems like you have been reading them or something like that. You answered all of them. No, but that is very true, because I wanted to ask you, how did you get inspired to do van life? But you answered that, and also the stuff about family. So what I want to ask you, what have changed? Like what did you learn about yourself and your personal growth? Like, because you actually did the same as me and Jens did. You sold everything, quit everything, the job, and sold the house and all the stuff you have. And then you went van life or auto camper life, and you drove off to Portugal to see me and Jens. No, that's not true though. But you did all the other stuff. And how do you feel different? Because that must have been a big transition, not only for the mind, but also the body, because you go from a lot of stress, I remember this, to van life, where you have so little responsibilities. It takes like 10 minutes to clean the van, and it's and you don't have a lot of stuff. So it's just, suddenly it frees up a lot of space for both thinking and just time itself. So what do you feel like has changed for you personally? And yeah.
Well, what it changed is that you really can do with a little stuff. You don't need that much stuff that you have. You think you need it, but you don't. And that was you don't. If you go shopping, if I go shopping right now, I have to think, if I buy a new dress or something, or a sweater, then another sweater has to go out because there is no more space.
Yeah.
So you think, do I really need one? Or I like just another color. So why? You start to think about that. And of course, it's nice to have some nice clothes. I don't argue about that. But yeah, you think twice before you buy it.
Yeah.
And you get so handy in organize things. I don't have a coffee machine. I have a small barista thing that you can put on fire, which it's good too. And I'm doing the cleanse right now, and you need to make celery juice. So, but I had a juicer. I sold it to a friend of mine, but I have a blender. So I blend it And I bought for €1.50 here something that I can put it in, and then it drops out. I don't know again the
Like,
English name, but
no, I don't know.
no, doesn't matter. But and then I squeeze it, and it's in my glass, and then I can drink it. And I thought, why did I buy in the Netherlands such an expensive thing of €300 to make the same what I do right now? The blender I already had, and it was €1.50. So, you know, you just figure things out. And the most beautiful thing that I liked to garden. I thought, oh, I'm gonna miss my garden, but every moment you're not staying in this car the whole day. Of course, you go out when it's dry. You're outside. We have a table. We can sit outside, work outside if we want to. You are much more out in the nature, and that is
Yeah.
one thing that that changed me too. That I thought, yeah, this is really. I'm not a person to go back to the Netherlands and live in a house like I lived before. I'm not able to do that anymore. I don't know where. There will be a house once, but I'm not going to live in a camper van forever. But I still like it right now, and I want to see a little bit more of Europe and the world. So yeah, we will see how it will go. But
Yeah.
yeah, you feel the freedom, and you don't have so much pressure anymore.
Mm.
And I needed. I well, I remember we landed here in Portugal, and we were like, okay, we can rest now. Let's take a month. Let's take a month holiday, and then we're there, and then we start thinking about what are we going to do and travel, etc. And then after a month, it's like, so we said, okay, let's take 6 months then, because we figured out you're not there from a life. I worked from when I was 18. I start working, and then suddenly you don't have to work anymore. It's like, oh, this is weird.
Yeah.
So we really had to tell ourselves, we don't have to enjoy the traveling, enjoy everything here. So we did. We traveled through Portugal. We saw different places. We went to Spain. We went to Norway and Sweden and Denmark. So we took a whole year to see that all and visit friends in the family. And of course, that was really fun to see that.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Yeah. And now and then it's like, okay, but we did an evaluation at the end of the year. We promised ourselves if we are traveling 1 year, we do an evaluation. So what we did, we wrote down some questions, and we answered them separately from each other. We wrote it down, and then we had to tell each other honestly what we wrote down.
Mm.
And that was talking about what is the grade that you give our last year? About, do you want to live in a house again? And if yes, why and when and where? And now all kind of questions like that. But that was so cool to do that because, it was perhaps, Tony would say, oh, I want to live in a camper van for 10 years. I said, well, in 1 or 2 years, I really want to have a house. And then he said, I thought he would say, oh no, not for me. But he said, oh yeah, I want a house too in 1 or 2 years. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. And then the question was where, and well, I don't know yet where. He wants to live in Portugal or in Denmark with you guys there somewhere, because we love Denmark as well, but we
Yeah.
love Portugal. The weather is here is amazing, and the ocean is amazing, and people are nice here too. So we don't know yet. So as long as we don't know, we don't do anything. We just keep on traveling, or yeah.
Yeah.
And we decided to stay here. We have a very nice place here. We have a very nice. It's so quiet here, and it's 20 minutes cycling to Lagos, and it's 15 minutes to the sea on the bike. And we decided to stay here a little bit longer because we are working. Tony is very hard working on his book, and I'm very hard working on my online training to finish it. And doing some online coaching for women, especially women 50 plus, who say, hey, I'm done with my life. How can I change it? Well, then I have some experience, so I can help them with them. So we thought, hey, if we want to have this online and working and ready, then we need to slow down with traveling. So in order to continue with our work. So we decided to stay here. We have some nice people here, and we are here now for the second month, and which is fine. It's good here.
No, I felt always that was the hardest part of van life, and it's like, okay, you also have to take the time out to actually stop and to work a little bit, because you can always just move on and see a new place and meet new people and get occupied by that, instead of also sometimes focusing on what you really want. So I found it really beautiful that you actually had these New Year's questions for each other. Where are we at? Where do we want to go? And I think that is healthy both for van life as well, but also for normal people, normal couples. I think so many couples are not actually talking about what they want with their life, and suddenly, they are at an age where it's too late, or because I think a lot of people are actually living together and actually don't have the same values and beliefs and the same dreams in life, and they just do the work, like you said, they get children, and suddenly they're 40 or 50 and 60, and then, oh shit, but I also wanted to be a surfer dude in Bali or something like that, but they never did it because they never had those questions. It's something me and Jens are doing often as well, and especially not just sit and talk about it. But I love that you and Tony went separated there, and then you answered the questions alone by yourself, because sometimes we can also get talked into wanting to stay in the van or wanting to buy a house, which we don't actually want, because
Mhm.
because as a couple, especially in a van, you almost melt together like one, because it's so you're not really often separated. You're always in that one space. So yeah.
And that is also one thing that we figured out. That's true. Just to add to this, that
Yeah.
we thought, okay, we need to find that one of us could go out to a workspace somewhere. So we were looking in Lagos. Could we go there? You have some places that you can rent a desk and a Wi-Fi, in the place. So we looked to that, and the people here, they have some houses, and they said, oh, you can sit there on the balcony because it's most of the time the temperature is quite good, and there is a roof on top of it. So Tony is out now there working outside with his laptop,
Nice.
and I can do this call and be with myself with you, and not
Girl
with
time.
him around. Yeah, exactly, girl time. Yeah. Oh no, you have to just be flexible and find solutions for things that you want.
So what would you say is like one advice or one thing you wanted to know yourself before you did this? Because it's a huge thing you did there. It's not like, oh, we sold a house, we sold a lot of things, and see you later. Off we are to Portugal, of the family left behind in the Netherlands. Like what is something you would love to have known before you did this? And what is like some advice you would give to couples in your age group or even younger, it doesn't really matter, to like, yeah, do you have some advice for them if they actually
Yeah,
thinking about it, and but I'm not sure to do it?
yeah. Well, if they are thinking about it but not sure to do it, I would say just do it, because you only know if it fits you, if you like it, if you do it. Just do it. And you can always say, okay, I don't want to sell my house yet, because you can go travel for a half year or a year or something, and somebody else can rent your house or anything like that. There's always something to arrange. But we thought, yeah, we decided to do that because the houses prices were so way high, and we thought, if we don't do it right now, we will never get that price for it.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't want to stay there in the Netherlands much longer. And yeah, that is something politics has to do with it, because we don't like how the politics is going on in the Netherlands, and how crowded it is, yeah how they treat the people. Well, we don't agree with that anymore. And well, we can't change it. We only can change ourselves, how we deal with it. Well, this is our choice to just leave there, and hopefully those people will go away and it will change in a good way. Then we might go back, because my roots are there, of course.
Mm.
Tony doesn't want to go back at all, so that is one thing. Yeah, so the only advice is just do it, try it out, don't be afraid. You only have regrets on the things you didn't do in your life, not of the things you've done. Because if it doesn't work out, well, you can always go back and start again. And that is one thing, because we both had a divorce, and we both left every stuff with our ex-partner,
Mm-hmm.
and we started both again alone, with our own stuff, and together we build up, and before you have a whole house full of it. And we thought, yeah, if we can start over when I was 48, I can do it right now. If I don't like this life, yeah, we go back, we sell the camper van, we will try to find a house, and we will have a job. There's no problem. We want to work if we want that. But I don't want to work 4 days a week. I do want to work 4 days a week with something what I like, talk about the things I like, creating things that I like, and I think I can help people with. So, and yeah, it's a beautiful way. So yeah, you have time to think.
Yeah.
You're not normally you're 8 hours at your work. You have to travel, and then you come home. You need to go perhaps some shopping. You need to cook, and then you sit down, and then you want to meet friends, or you do some sport or whatever. There's so little time, because the most of the time during the week is going to a job, and now we can work, and beside that we can enjoy where we are right now. The only thing is that there is one person who told me, if you go traveling and you want to work online, find something before, so create something already that you can do before you leave. And I thought, well, we are doing it right now.
Mm.
But I must say she was right. And so that is the other thing, advice I would like to give. Because if you have something already, then you can keep on working on it. And it's so tempting, because the sun is shining right now. So going, sitting outside, or grab your bike, or go for a walk, but that costs time too. And if you want to work, yeah, you need to do something, to earn money or something. And then it's a little bit like it's every day is a feeling like, oh, it's a holiday. And
Yeah.
so perhaps that is one tip. All right, prepare yourself good. If you want to work and you want to stay longer and you want to work online, create something in advance. And you can work it out when you're there, but create something that you have something already, because we really need to push ourselves to get things done right now, which is working right now, which is fine. But yeah, she was right. So that's a tip. If somebody told me that before I would left,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I would do that a little bit better. I was working on something already, but yeah. So that's the only thing, because it's so tempting, it's so lovely. And what you say, if you come to a new place, you meet new people, you
Yeah.
make contact. Yeah. So it's fun, but it's taking time. So if you need to work, yeah, that's difficult.
It is. I remember that too. But don't you think also, because something I wanted to add on to that is like, I feel like van life completely gives you the freedom of time to figuring out who you actually are and what you want out of a life. And I completely agree on what this woman or somebody who gave advice to you, that you have something you can work on from home. But also sometimes I think some people can be so burned out, and actually first when they come into van life, they finally find the freedom to just think and figuring out, what do I actually like? That is also something that happened for me and Jens.
Yeah.
We finally had like the time to think, but also we had work with us from the beginning. Actually, we had my jewelry and Jens had his massage, and that's how we survived on markets in England in the first place. And then we moved our businesses more to the online world. But sometimes I also think we can, but that is also if you have money on hand. I think if you sell a house or you do something and you have a little bit of a what do you call it, some savings that you can live on, then I think also van life actually creates space to think. And I want to add something more to this, because what advice we got was, what is the worst thing that can happen if you do this? And then you imagine, okay, the worst thing that could happen for us was we had to, sell the van, go back and stay with my mom for a while. And that is, and then the next question will be, can you live with that? And of course you can live with that. And I think that is a good question to ask yourself. What is actually the worst thing that can happen if you
Yeah.
sell all your shit and do van life or travel the world or whatever you desire. Or if you have some other dreams, it doesn't always have to do with van life. But I was just sitting, I just wanted to add that too. And then from my coach back then, she also said, and what is the best thing that could happen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, and that is true. I have the same thing. The worst thing is that I have to go back, rent a house, and go to work 4 days a week. Well, I
So
did that before, so
so the
I
same
will
life.
survive.
Yeah, the same
Yeah,
life
but
again.
I
Yeah.
don't want that. No. And the best thing is actually happening right now, that we have the freedom, we enjoy every moment, we much more in nature, and you really have the time to figure out who you are, who am I really, what do I think is important in my life, um, and yeah, actually figure out who am I,
Yeah.
and try things out. I did some breath work, I did a sweat lodge, I did ayahuasca, I did regression therapy, um, I did a lot of things, which helped me to figure out, yeah, I just want to try it, and do I like it? What can I do with it? Do I want to do more or less, and just also give some time to clean things up. So not only the cleanse where we started with, but also the cleanse in your head. So the regression therapy was very heavy. I did that though in the Netherlands,
Mm-hmm.
but that was, yeah, something that really helped me to get things all things away, all things I carried my whole life, which weren't even mine, you
Yeah.
know. I didn't know that. And then we figured that out, and now it's gone. And I feel, more freedom to go and to do things and to say things. Always yeah, you get the time to develop yourself in another way, which is I would recommend everybody to do. And not everybody, like you said, have to live in a camper van. Just do something different,
Yeah.
create something, uh, and step into the unknown, and things will come in a way for you, which is good for you, as long as you believe in it. I start meditating a few years ago, and 2 years ago we came in contact with Dr. Joe Dispenza, and we
Mm.
do his meditations every day, and that really gives me the confidence, to grow and to do the things that I like. It's really helpful to, an hour meditating a day. Well, normally you don't have time for it, because if you want to meditate and you do some sport in the morning and you have to go to your work, well, you have to get up very early. So we did that. We started at 5 o'clock in the morning, did a meditation, did some exercises, taking a shower, breakfast, and go to work. Yeah, but now we have much more time for it, and so you get more ease, yeah, in peace with yourself. And sometimes doing nothing, that is difficult.
Nothing. It's
Nothing. Yeah,
it's the most important thing, and it's so hard to do.
yeah, it's still,
Doing
I must
nothing.
admit, it's still, but there come time that I can do it a little bit better, yeah. But it's difficult for, especially for women, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I do also think. I think. Yeah, I do think you're right. I think the way we are brought up the last many hundred years is like we have to be responsible for everything, otherwise everything is falling apart in the home, because we in the old days were, yeah, brought up to take care of the children, the house, everything, making sure the ship is sailing smoothly so the man can come home and just sit down and get his dinner. And I think that is a lot of women are brought up like this, and so doing nothing is not an option. So yeah, I think you're right, uh, that it's harder for women to.
Yeah, well, the other part for women is also hard, but I figured out, if you work in a business, they expect you to be there every day and deliver every day, the whole day. But a man and a woman are so different.
Yeah.
So a man, you know that with their hormones, they change twice a year, a lifetime. With us, it's, you don't know how you wake up tomorrow. You don't know. If you have a normal cyclist, okay, you know that in the middle, you could have some troubles or whatever, and before you get your period. But yeah, you don't know. You get up one day with a lot of energy, and the next day you're like, can we shift this day? Please, can it be tomorrow already? Because this is not my day today. But then you have to go to work and you have to deliver what you normally deliver. And they're not capable of doing that. But in this man's world, we have to do that. And then
Yeah.
you have to come home. And of course, most of the time, not all women, but most of the women taking care of dinner, cook, whatever, children. Yeah, and men go out, oh, I'm back, I'm home, honey. Yeah, and then they go out for sport or whatever. They
Yeah.
do their thing because they don't see it, and it's connected. So we need to do all those things. We tell ourselves to do it, but we're not capable to live in this man's world. So this world need to change, and
Oh
has to
yeah.
be a world. I love
I
to have the, like you said, we women need to connect a little bit more. Like you said in the beginning, we need to connect and help each other and get this female energy more in this world. That will help the world getting this. Yeah, everybody should ask his or him herself, why are you doing what you're doing?
exactly. No,
Yeah.
you know what you just talk about, that is like, this is my passion. It's like when I heard the first time I heard this was that we live in a patriarchal world, meaning that the work hours are set up for testosterone. So, in the
Yes.
morning when a man wakes up at 8 o'clock, it started rising and it getting higher and higher. And then after 12 o'clock, it declines again. So that's why the whole workforce is set up like that. It's set up from 8 to 4 or 9 to 5, because that's where a man performs the best. But a woman that is not normal. But normally it's a 28-day cycle, right? And we're so different in the different 4 phases. And we will not be the same, and we can't work with the same work ethic every day, go to work and be like the same way of productive. And I think this needs to completely change. And they did a study on this in the UK, where they allowed women to go home when they have their menstrual cycle, or when they're bleeding. And what it showed, that actually the women were much more productive in the other phases. And also figuring out when are you at your best in the different 4 phases, right? And then take the rest when you're actually bleeding. And yeah, but that is a big big thing to change for the world, because all over the world it's the same thing. It's from 8 to 4
Yeah, I
o'clock.
know.
And I'm also just wondering, one thing, it's set up for men, but how can 8 billion, or how many people we are now in this world, have the same way of working every day? It's like puzzles me how this, it can't not fit like 8 billion people. It's
No.
ridiculous. And for women it's completely ridiculous. And then we are so hard on ourselves, because we feel like one week we feel on top of the world, we are owning our shit, and the next week we are just down and we put on 2 kilos because we have water retention in the body, we feel fat and unsexy. And then we just got being so mean on ourselves, and it's just like, oh man, we need to talk. Anyways, I
We
have
need to
another good
accept.
question for you. So what
Yeah,
is
okay.
one thing you believe in that the rest or most people will not agree on? Does it make sense? So what is one thing that, because sometimes we keep into ourselves and we don't really dare to say it, because we know that 90% of the population don't believe the same thing. But I think it's a great question. So what is one thing you believe or think about that a lot of people would disagree on?
Oh, well, the one thing I believe in is that we are all a beautiful soul having a human experience here, and that we're here temporarily to learn, and that you can learn here, and then when you pass away, what time ever, you take what you've learned back to, yeah, the universe, wherever you go, and yeah, you might come back for a few lives again, or if it's here or somewhere else, I don't know. But I don't, so my belief is that we are all souls, beautiful souls, to come here to learn, and to help to change the earth, taking care of the earth,
Hmm.
and those kind of stuff, taking care of each other. And the way it's going right now is not the way, that it should be, I think. So that's my belief. Yeah, and I don't think, some people don't believe that if you're dead, you're dead. Okay, and I think, you just come here and everybody should ask the question, what does life want from you? Not just what do I want from life, but what does life want from you? What are you coming to do here? That everybody's going to figure out for themselves, what am I going to learn here? What can I bring to the earth, to other people? And that is how I believe. And I'm not sure how many people believe that too. So that's the answer on your question.
But that is quite beautiful. I like that. That is really nice. So what is, I don't know if this question will make sense, but what is one conversation we had together that's your favorite? If you remember, because we've been together.
Well, that's the one you started with.
So it is the farting one. Okay, so let's just.
Yeah, we should talk about it. Why not? Because
I was
we're
just thinking. Well, so me and Debbie, we did the dishes like really women do.
Yeah. Yeah, we did the dishes and talked a lot.
And I don't know how I got into the conversation. I think I brought it up, but it's like when you are a woman and you're having sex and you have to fart, and it's so hard to hold in, because when the man is then laying on top of you, you do the good old missionary position, and he's in you and you're having sex and you have to fart. How much actually energy and concentration it takes to keep that fart in, because you don't want to fart in your partner. I think it was something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah, because we talked about that the woman has to open herself to receive the man. That's literally, that was it. Yeah. And it was so fun conversation, because normally you talk about this not, or with very, very good friends. And like you said, we hardly know each other. Well, not that good. We learned in the days that we were there, but I love to talk to you. I just love you. It's amazing how we connect. Yeah. So we were talking about that in the kitchen. I was like, okay, we have to open up. And then I said, yeah, but how are you opening up if you need to fart? Because you go right to your head and you're out of your body. It's like, the only thing is, I don't want to do that. That's not sexy. I don't want to do that. How can I keep it up? And you cramp yourself to keep it up. But this is not fun. So, and we were talking about if other women should have that too, or if I'm the only one sometimes, it's like, that was so fun to talk about.
It was. And I think it's like also the practice of, okay, so you could also, because, and it's a lot of thinking of it, right? And you could squeeze it out, but you don't know if it smells, because you could get it out there without the sound, right? But what if it then smells? I think that is a good question too. But I like that we actually took the conversation, because I think there's so many things that we women don't talk about. And it's quite normal, because you and me, you have to fart, and and then I think Jens, or was it Tony, I don't remember, coming in and saying they also dealt with that issue sometimes. Because when they are, for example, because then
that was
because
fun.
I thought they didn't have the issue, because if they are pushing into you, I would think you actually already squeezing the buttocks and the butthole together.
Yes, but they explained to us that they had the same issue. That is so funny.
It is. And it was, and we had, so not a few weeks ago, but I think not last time, but last time again, me and Jens had sexy time. We had way too much garlic, and I couldn't, and it was, and it was so bad, and both of him and me. And then after the whole session was over, it was like, oh my, we couldn't stop thinking about the conversation we had in the kitchen, because that was, don't do that. Don't put a lot of garlic in your tomato soup when you are expecting having some romance night. That's for sure. That was an act in itself, and it wasn't also not that the greatest sex we ever had, because it's hard, Debbie. It's hard to keep it in.
Yeah, you see. So we are not the only ones, probably.
No, and I hope also if people are actually listening to this podcast, that they will leave a comment below or somewhere where they can comment on this and saying if they had this experience too. Otherwise, it's just you and me, Debbie, and we will be the farting ladies.
Yeah, for the rest of our lives. Okay,
Exactly.
that's fun. It doesn't matter.
But I love that too.
Yeah,
I love
true. It's
that was definitely one of my favorites conversation, and I think also just opening up about it. Crazy.
yeah, it's fun. And
So
it's good to talk about.
yeah, it's good about, yeah, well, I think we should talk about all these kind of stuff, like be much more open about, like also I said, like menopause, menstrual cycle, all the things women going through. I always believe that, oh, all the other women are superheroes, they can do everything, and then we are suffering behind the scenes, right? I think we need to have a much more open conversation about it. It's like, honestly, I had a friend of mine, not a friend of mine, somebody I know. I don't want to say any names here, but she didn't even completely knew how it all was connected down there. Like it's like we need to start the conversation about how our bodies work, where things are placed, how we are doing the month, and also different phases from teenager to menopause to being the wise woman. I think there's so much to talk about. We could do
Yeah.
300 podcasts on this.
We could do another one about this part.
Yeah, I think we should. I really do think this is something. That's why I also called it my podcast Uncomfortably Honest, because it can be comfortably honest, but it can also be really uncomfortably honest conversation I want to have with women, because oh my God, I yeah, I wish we could talk more about farting, doing sex, menopause, I don't know, living in small spaces with your husband, all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many. I think there's a lot of women with so many questions. If you have your period, do you have sex? How do you do that? With all the blood and whatever. It is not fun, but perhaps you want it or absolutely not. Those kind of stuff. Or like we talked about the farting, or yeah, if you have a sex and you get a hot flash and then it's really sweaty and it's not sweaty because you work so hard. It's sweaty because of the hot flashes. All those questions. There are so many things but
Oh
nobody talks
yeah.
about. But it's there. Yeah.
That's even something, yeah, exactly. Also that. And even I never thought about the hot flashes and having sex, but like how do you how do you deal with that? How does it feel like? Is it
We,
yeah.
we start yeah, start laughing. Say, oh, you're so hot, my darling. But then you have to you have to wait till it's gone and then you can continue. And sometimes, yeah, it doesn't work that way, but it's fun. You just have to smile and make fun of it. But yeah,
Yeah. I do
it's
believe
not
so.
always funny. It's no,
No, no,
like the
it's not all.
farting or the hot or whatever. There are always things. Not now. Why now? It's such a romantic evening. Not now. Oh, we eat garlic. Not now. Yeah.
There's always something, and I think opening the conversation about that too. Also, one thing for me, when we now on the sex part of it, it was sometimes saying, like, just saying no if you don't want to. I think a lot of women also just have sex because they think they have to have sex with their husbands and partners,
Mm.
right? And we are also in the menstrual cycle, we are not always like equally wet and horny. And so we have
No.
parts in our cycle where we just don't want to, but we feel like we're just doing it, and then we are also not listening to our bodies when we are having sex. If it hurts and stuff like that, we don't say no, we don't say stop, we don't use our words, and then sex becomes something that's suddenly not pleasurable anymore because we didn't set our boundaries and listen to our bodies that want what we wanted. I think that's a whole new
Yeah.
podcast there too. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, that is really important. And when you get older, yeah, also that changes. And then well, you, you can say it, and if you work on your relationship, you can talk about these kind of things if you have a
Yeah.
good relationship, of course. And But yeah, it's important to say no, or to say no, not tonight, and or whatever. It's important to talk about it and why, explain why, and yeah, the other have to accept it, because the only way you have good sex is to be able to receive and to give. And if you're not in that position, you should not even start it.
Yeah.
But it's also, you as a woman, you have to be connected with your own body. So if you are not connected with your own body, it's sometimes very difficult to receive a man. But if you are really loving yourself, you know, we did a training, and we had to do an exercise, and we had to, it was a training with a lot of people online, and some people in a hall where the presentation was. And then this guy asked all the women to stand up, also who were behind their screen in the Zoom calls, and they asked them to stand up and to dance if there was nobody else, no man beside you, no people in the hall, no people on online Zoom, and start dancing like a woman. And they put on some music, and all those women started to dance and feel themselves, and you getting really into it. It's like, oh, I'm just here, I don't give a shit of who's looking. I'm here with myself, I feel myself, this is my body. And that was an amazing thing to see. And then he asked the man to only to watch, say nothing, just to watch, that's it. And the man said it was not about sex, it was about, I saw a beautiful woman, I saw all those women, that it completely changed, it was such an amazing moment.
Mm.
And then he asked the man to stand up, all the women had to sit down. And then he showed a video of Braveheart. And Braveheart is series about the um I've got his name,
Mel
but
Gibson.
he is a strong, really yeah, Mel Gibson. Yeah, a strong man, sitting on a horse, and he shouted to all those people from Scotland, because they want to run away for the English in that. And he said, well, you can run away right now and go back in your house and die in 10 years, and always have the feeling, I didn't stand up for myself. Or you can say now, I go for it, I don't care, I fight until I die, because this is where I stand for my country. And then he shouted out freedom, like with the with that voice as a man, and very hard. And this guy who presented it, he shouted out freedom, and all those men in that big hall, and also all the people online, they shouted, all those men shouted freedom at the same time, and it was over
Wow.
and over again. And what happened with the women, that we felt so protected. So that is the masculine and the female part,
Mm.
which is, that is the game. And we women sometimes step in our masculine part,
Yeah.
which, yeah, is sometimes difficult. But if you do that, you will see that your husband will, go to the female part. There's always, it has to be in balance. So if you go to your female part, then you give the man the opportunity to stand up in his masculine. And that is what people saw. And of course, some women were, they were abused or whatever, so they felt a little bit like, oh, that's shouting, I was afraid. But the majority of the people said, no, this is so, I felt so protected, that
Mm.
was so amazing. And all those, so that was really great exercise to do, and also to look at. And yeah, it was, we were both, Tony and I, we were both looking at it and doing it, and it's like, wow, this is something that, you know that is so important, that masculine and a female, that was a beautiful thing to do, which will help also in the sexual
Yeah.
relationships, and also in daily life. Yeah. And being a female is not being weak or something. That is also,
No.
sometimes people think, oh, you're a
Yeah.
female, you do female stuff. But female, a woman, put 20 women in a room and put one man in the middle, he will be scared, because we have so much power, we have so much love. And that love, they will scare them away, like, holy shit, that is a lot of shit. Yeah. So we forget that we have other powers than the masculine, the muscles. We have less muscles. That is how we were built, because
Yeah.
we were built to do something else. And we forgot that because we will step into that man's world. But doing those kind of exercises,
Wow.
amazing. Amazing.
Amazing. I can only
Yeah.
imagine how that must have felt like, because it's really true. I feel like we the last many maybe 20, 40 years trying to become like the male energy, which is, and that has also created a big unbalance in the world between men and women, because men don't know where to stand anymore, what to say anymore. And I think it's more a time of embracing what a woman is, instead of us becoming men and taking on the world. Like, what does it actually mean to be a woman, and what does it mean to be a man? And I know this is such a big topic these days on how
Yeah.
different things is, but I think yeah, like you said, we are built different. Like, the energies in a male body compared to a female body is just different. We have different hormones. It's just different. And I think it's time to relearn how we can be a strong female and not a strong male as a woman. I feel, does that make sense? Did
Yeah.
that make sense? Yeah. Yeah. I
Absolutely.
think
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, no, I think that's not a good experience. I love that what you just said. I think, yeah, thank you for sharing that, because I think it's time to really get the balance back in, and out figuring out how do we do this now differently, so it's not becoming like a
Yeah.
man dragging a woman down the hallway, and demanding to know everything and own everything, and the woman be all the way down there and only washing clothes and making dinner. But also, like, well, but also you don't want a woman to be a man, and that doesn't heal the world, for sure not. What does it mean
No,
to be a woman?
no,
That's
exactly. We need to
great.
find no, we need to find the balance back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What was your favorite part of this conversation? And is there anything you want to add? Did we forget anything?
No, I like to talk about that. Um, yeah. Yeah, the fan life, and the things we talked about, women and men, and yeah, I love the conversation. I really enjoyed
Oh,
it. And yeah, with you I can be honest and open, and that is really cool. So thank you very much for interviewing me, or having a
yeah.
conversation,
Yeah,
whatever.
I don't know what really, because I like to have the conversation part of it, also having like the different views. And I was so curious about our talk today, because I didn't know actually where I wanted to go. But I just found that you're such a fascinating woman. I think people needed to learn a little more about you, and that's why you're here. And yeah,
Thank you.
I just think we had a really great time together. There was something special between us. That almost sounds like dating, but it was something special between us when you were here. And I love your energy, and I love to see how much you have changed. I think, do we almost know each other for 1 year now? I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
February something. Yeah,
yeah.
fun.
And you just started back then, so it's quite fascinating to see the shift in you. And I hope I can have you on the podcast again.
Yeah, no problem. We can do that.
And
Talk
what?
about the female part, and
Yeah, I think
how
we
to
should.
change, how to do that.
Yeah, I think definitely. I'm just gonna write that down, because otherwise I forget stuff. But I think, like, going a little bit more into the menopause, and also the whole female stuff, and also what I liked, the farting part or something. But just the whole general, like, the female, the man and female balance in life. What else? Do I have anything else left I wanted to ask you? Oh yeah. So what I normally, but you also did that doing the podcast. But what I normally say is at the end, where if people want to find you somewhere on the social media, and I know that you have like this online course coming out about living healthy in a van for women. Is it only for women over 50, or can I join too?
No, no, it could also be for women uh, who are younger, of course. Uh, but it's, if you're 40, it's fine too. It's more like you come to a point in your life, you think, hey, I don't want to live this way anymore. How can I change? And the camper van life is then this is just the start to do online training for women. And it's not actually about lifestyle in a camper van. I start with that one, the first one, but I also take into account a lot of other things, like where we talked about how you can do things, how you can change yourself, those kind of stuff. And then the next training will be more focused on really, how can you make that change in yourself? How can you make those steps? And not that everybody who has to live in a camper van, of course, that's their own choice, but you can make changes in your life, which you dreamed of, or you think, oh, should I do it or not? Well, if you want to do it, I can help you with that, to make that step to do it, because I can take away all your doubts. Yeah. So that is what I do. And we have together, Tony and I have an Instagram post that is New Happies. If you find on Instagram New Happies, then you see our post, how we are traveling. And I will post in there also a link to my online training as in February when it's finished.
Okay. And will it be in English or?
Yes, it will be in English.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Great. So I will link that all down below, and then they can find you there.
Yeah, cool.
Well,
looking forward to see a lot of women there.
Debbie, this was absolutely amazing. I loved our conversation. It was just flowing really nicely. And thank you so much for being on my Uncomfortably Honest podcast.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm very happy that we talked, and I love to talk to you. So let's do it again another time. Thank you so much, Nikki. I really love you.
Love
you.
So
glad I met you a year ago.
Me too.
Thank you.
Thank you.